Welcome back to another episode of my devlog journey. In the last episode we talked about what a game engine is and that I would be using the Visionaire Studio engine. It was so nice to get messages and comments from some of you saying that you're also using the same Visionaire Studio engine. That's great to hear. In this episode we're going to delve a little deeper into game development, more specifically art styles. What is visual art style? Art styles can make or break a game. It's the first thing players see and it sets the tone for the entire experience. When I made my first game, I had no idea how much the art style would affect the outcome. Visual art style refers to the unique aesthetic and visual elements that are used to create the game's world, characters and objects. It includes elements such as colour palette, lighting, texture, animation and environmental design, all of which come together to create a distinctive look and feel for the game. The visual art style of a game can help to establish its overall tone, mood and atmosphere and can play an important role in immersing the player in the game's world. It can also be used to communicate important information to the player, such as the genre, setting or narrative themes of the game. Overall, visual art style is an important aspect of game design that helps to create a unique and engaging experience for the player. A brief history of adventure game art styles. The first adventure game with graphics is generally considered to be Mystery House, created in 1980 by Roberta and Ken Williams of Online Systems, which later became Sierra Online. The game used simple line graphics to depict scenes and objects, and the player navigated the game using text commands. Mystery House was created using an Apple II computer. The game was originally designed as a personal project by Roberta Williams, who was interested in creating a game that combined storytelling and puzzles. The game was a huge success, selling thousands of copies and paving the way for the development of more complex and visually rich adventure games. The next big leap in adventure game art styles came with the release of King's Quest in 1984. Also developed by Sierra Online, King's Quest was a landmark game that combined text-based adventure gaming with animated graphics and a point-and-click interface. King's Quest's art style was distinctive for its use of hand-painted backgrounds and character sprites, which gave the game a colourful, story-like quality. The game also made use of early 3D graphics techniques to create some of its environments, such as the drawbridge that lowers to allow the player to cross a moat in one of the game's early puzzles. Arguably, the next big leap from here was the release of Lucasfilm Games' Maniac Mansion in 1987. Maniac Mansion featured colourful, cartoon-like graphics with a unique interface that allowed players to select commands and objects with a point-and-click system rather than typing out commands. The game was also notable for its multiple playable characters, each with their own unique abilities, and its non-linear gameplay, which allowed players to explore the mansion and solve puzzles in different ways. Maniac Mansion was a major influence on later adventure games, including Lucasfilm's own hit game, The Secret of Monkey Island.
Hi, my name's Guybrush Threepwood, and I want to be a pirate.
Yikes! Don't sneak up on me like that.
I'm over this way.
Ah, well then, Thriftweed.
Threepwood.
After Maniac Mansion, the next big leap was Sierra's King's Quest IV. This game was the first adventure game to use 256 colour graphics, which allowed for much more detail and colour depth in the game's environments and characters. The game also utilised a new animation system called Sierra's Creative Interpreter, which allowed for smoother and more detailed character animations. King's Quest IV was a technical and artistic achievement that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in adventure game graphics at the time. After King's Quest IV, adventure game art styles continued to evolve with the advancement of technology. In the early 1990s, there was a trend towards more detailed and elaborate pixel art styles, as seen in games like Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, and Day of the Tentacle. As computer technology continued to improve, so did the art styles in adventure games. The mid to late 1990s saw the emergence of 3D graphics in adventure games, which allowed for more immersive environments and dynamic camera angles. Games like Myst and Grim Fandango pushed the boundaries of what was possible with 3D graphics in adventure games. Released in 1993, Myst was a major step forward in adventure game art styles, with its stunning visuals and immersive environments. The game was a commercial and critical success and went on to become one of the best-selling PC games of all time until The Sims came along in 2002.
Lovable, unpredictable, programmable. It's The Sims.
Hey there, sport. What's all the racket?
It's fusion, Daddy. The key to a cleaner burning fuel resides in this... You're a moron. You know that, right?
When you create the characters and design the surroundings, anything's a possibility. The Sims. It's a new game every day.
Rated T for T.
So there is a very brief history of adventure game art styles. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole recently and came across Double Fine's channel. On there they've got two awesome documentaries, the biggest being a 7-year documentary about the making of Psychonauts 2. The other is a documentary about them making an adventure game, Broken Age. Now, whether you like their studio or not, both documentaries give a great insight not only into the making of the game, but the goings-on inside a game studio. Their Double Fine Adventure series shows how it's very easy to want more from your game and to want to add more and more, also known as scope creep. So, let's take a look at my game, the Roadie. I wanted my game to be similar in style to Day of the Tentacle, which had been described as whimsical and playful. It has bright colours, exaggerated character features and surreal environments. The characters are designed with comical expressions and exaggerated proportions. The art style is heavily influenced by the cartoon style of the 1930s and 40s, with many references to classic animated films and pop culture from that era. Artist, I am not. So how the hell was I going to do something like this? Well, to start with, I thought I should try and get some basic scenes together. There is no point saying my game is going to look like this or it's going to have these features if I can't even make a game. So I started as basic as I could. My character was on tour with a band. If the game's title didn't give you any spoilers, he is a roadie for a band. So, he's on the tour bus, and the bus breaks down in the middle of nowhere. So I first need the inside of a tour bus, and the outside somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Having lived on and off tour buses, I had a good idea what it should look like. So, I googled a bunch of images and started photoshopping it all together. Then, I reached out to a friend and asked them, with my amazing images, to put something together. It didn't get far, so I tried to sketch something better. Put all that together and here are the results. I have a tour bus interior and exterior. Long story short, I had the same artist flesh out the rest of my scenes and eventually got a playable game together. But I wasn't happy with the end result. Not because the art style wasn't any good, it was great, but it wasn't quite the style I wanted. So, after some searching, I came across another artist who agreed to redo all the scenes. The character designs are a similar story. I grabbed a free character online, rigged him myself, and animated, but I'll talk about that another time. As I didn't own the characters, I needed to have my own made. I found an amazing artist who made Kurt look incredible, but after a few months the artist reached out to me and said she could no longer do the work on this project, leaving me with one partially completed character and no NPCs. It didn't take long to realise that the Ukrainian artist who was helping me was suffering with almost daily power blackouts while trying to work a full-time job, avoid a war zone, and in her spare time create a character for me. She's fine, by the way, and we still keep in touch. So, with my new artist, my characters went from this to this. Overall, I'm really happy with the design. It may not have been the Day of the Tentacle style I originally wanted, but I felt it has become closer to an original thought. But hey, this is just my first idea. I'd love to know what you think. Please leave a comment below telling me what you think of these designs, and if you're making your own game, why not share some of the links to what you're working on, and have you suffered from scope creep? Thanks for watching.